So I gotta buy the big car, I gotta have the nice watch, I gotta have the chains, and there's a sense of relatability, and that's something we can speak about as well. It's like, yeah, I've made it because I wanted to inspire you, right? But this blueprint that we're doing now, especially us sitting on stage, and I know we got a couple other guys that are coming, as an entrepreneur doing it, and using tax incentives and using education and showing how assets appreciate like gold, like diamonds, that's a new way to think, right? Like I remember Jay saying it, like, ain't no reason why I be buying expensive chains. And I'm like, so then why the hell you keep buying them, right? And this is the guy I'm looking up to. But the education around it makes more sense, right? Like, how can gold appreciate over time? Well, we can look at it for the past 10 years, we can see it's an appreciating asset. Oh, here's a teachable moment. Here's another appreciating asset over that same 10 years, Bitcoin. You see what I'm saying? And so those little key points of intersections of where we can teach from those mistakes, so valuable.
That Bitcoin thing, every time it goes up, I'm like, dang, I should have bought it. It got to like 30,000, I'm like, the run is over. It's over, and then I get to 60, I'm like, well, it's really over now, because it's at 60, it wasn't 30, I didn't buy at 30, I don't, you understand? And it's at 60, I'm like, it's over. Then it goes to 100, I'm like, all right, bro. And I just said the same thing. I'm like, all right, 100, it's over. Should we buy Bitcoin real quick? First off, hold on, this is the question. What should we buy right now before Trump get in office? What y'all doing? Y'all got know?
You got one day. Oh, who said that? Why you said that?
Is that?
You might have heard a smart guy say that before. So, yeah, I mean, he's talking about, he said TSM, which is a manufacturer for AI chips.
I'm sorry, TSM?
Yeah.
I'm asking these questions for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the future has already been laid out for us. It's right now. You see what I'm saying? So if we're talking about AI, and we're talking about what runs AI, it's going to be GPUs, which are graphic processing units. Who makes those? NVIDIA. Who makes the fastest ones? NVIDIA. Who actually manufactures those chips? TSM. And so if we look at the landscape, is that a company we can invest in? Absolutely. If we know the next 5 to 10 years that AI is going to revolutionize the world, it's going to replace a lot of the workforce, we know that we're going to keep using computing power, now quantum is coming into the light, that needs to be powered by something, right? And so TSM, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, but also makes a lot of sense is who's going to power that revolution? ASML. There you go. This guy's been watching Market Mondays.
Say it louder though.
So he said a company named ASML. Why is that important? Well, TSM manufactures chips, but they don't make the machines that manufacture the chips. So they have to get it from somewhere. So this is a supply chain, right? They talk about the gold rush. People were always looking for the gold, but the people that made the money were the people that had the shovels.
And real quick, I'm sorry, you said that it was the
ASML.
ASML?
Yeah. ASML.
I listen.
Because, I mean, just think about it.
Deserve to be rich.
They make the machines that go to the manufacturer. The manufacturer makes the AI chips for pretty much every company, from Apple to Microsoft to Meta to NVIDIA, who was a supplier, Broadcom, name them, AMD, Texas Instrument. All these semiconductor chips are being manufactured by one company. And so that's an important company for the future. So if we're looking for a company to invest in, that makes a lot of sense. But that's how you break these things down. But the fact that you could just yell those out tells you that the conversation is changing in our community. You just prompted that, and that just automatically came out of nowhere. Not nowhere, but there was a prior knowledge that came from it, and now everybody gets to hear it. Like, that's the beauty of this moment, man. Yeah. Like, appreciate you for that.
It's never too late to get into a good investment. You know, I remember like when I first bought Bitcoin, it was $5,000. So at that time, it was 5,000, and then I remember it was running up, and it went to 20,000. And when it got to 20,000, I remember my dad was saying like, why would you have something that costs $20,000 that's not real? Doesn't even make any sense. Like, I mean, like $20,000 for Bitcoin, like that's ridiculous. Like it's going to crash. Everybody thought like, it's going to crash, and it went down. And people like, I told you so. Like it's not valuable. Like why would it like 20,000? Why is something worth $20,000? Now it's worth $100,000. So yeah, I purchased it at 5,000, but I'm late to the game to the person that purchased it at 1,000. And they're late to the game to the person that purchased it at 500. They're late to the game to the person that purchased it at 100.
But is 100,000 still cool? Should we get a little bit right now?
Yeah, well, it depends. So this is again.
You know what I mean? If these are the same.
This is important. Now, this is important because we get that question a lot, right? Like, is this the time to invest in? What I always tell people is like, are you educated on it? Right? You can listen to me, but do you believe in yourself? Right? And so the belief is like, yo, if it's at 100,000, is it too late? Well, if you believe it's going to 10 million, it's not. If you believe it's going to 15 million, it's not.
What do you believe? You believe 10 million? Are you thinking 10 million?
You believe in me?
Yeah. I'm gonna read this book, right? Hey, look, before I bring up
but also you gotta look at it from a standpoint, right, even if it goes to 120,000, you got in 100,000, well you made 20% of your money. Right? Like,
that's good.
Only people that don't understand money don't think that 20% is something that's valuable. You understand money, you understand 20. If I can 20%, that's good. What else you gonna do with 20%, right? So if it goes to 150, okay, you're not gonna get 1,000% rate of return, but you're gonna get a 50% rate of return on your money. That's good. That's a good deal. So of course you always want to wait for a pullback. You want to try to buy things. I mean, I think if it gets in the 80s, that's a great opportunity to buy. If it gets in the 70s, you definitely want to buy it. But there's also a way where you can put dollar cost average in, right? So you don't have to put all your eggs in one basket if you feel a little bit risky about the situation. But if you believe, like you said, I mean, the million would be great, but most people think that over the course of the next 12 months, you could definitely reach 150,000. That's something that's a realistic number. Is it guaranteed? Of course not. Nothing is guaranteed in this world when it comes to investing, but that's something that most people believe can actually happen, right? So if you look at it from that standpoint, yeah, you waited, but 100,000 might seem like a big number, but if it gets to 150,000, then you get 50% of your money in 1 year. That's a good deal.
5 years when it's 500,000, you'll be having the same conversation.
But do you think in 5 years?
He said something important, right? And like, it was only kind of like two people that said, yeah, that's right. Like 20% is an amazing return, right? Like people have to realize that, right? When it's interesting, when people put their money in the bank and they put it in their savings account and they get 0.03%, they don't even question it. They're like, oh, okay, right? And then you leave $10,000 in there and you made 3 cents, right? This one, like, we gotta be educated in space. Even if you get a high yield account and that's 4%, you're like, oh, okay, that's great. Yeah, I feel safe there, right? Like if you put it in a brokerage account and you invested in S&P, right, on an average return for the past 73 years, you're talking about 11%. 11%, and most of us up until over the past 5 years didn't even have brokerage accounts. You see what I'm saying? This is the education process. This is like when we talk about the title of the inner game of wealth. When we go into rooms and we get into these spaces and everybody's like, you guys are everywhere. This is what we're seeing. These are the characteristics of the wealthy. This is what they're doing. Our job is to decipher what they're doing, try to interpret it, and give it back to you. And that's our job. That's what we've been doing.